Price will say, "Hello, everybody. It's the podcast, Merlin. What?
You're a goof.
Well, you know, you never see it coming. That was the opening, and I prepared him, but he still didn't know.
I was still shocked.
Anyway, I'm going to try and get this video working here just because I think you guys probably prefer to have it on if you want to watch it. But we've got a couple news items.
Yeah.
Dan of Dan Reviews It is
Hello.
back. You've probably seen him or
Thanks for
heard him before.
letting me join as always.
Of course.
We've got some very interesting topics, I think.
We do, and all relevant to you. And the first, and me.
All things we've talked about both on and off air for a long time.
Just a couple things that might be coming up that I think you and I specifically really like talking about.
Absolutely.
But, well, first of all, we've got Toy Story 4, which I just kind of wanted to talk to you a little more about, just because, for a couple reasons. First of all, obviously, we've mentioned before here a number of times that the trilogy doesn't really need to be touched.
It's as perfect, I think, as a trilogy can be.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Good, Dan, would you do me a favor and let out the cat?
Out.
I didn't know he was in here. Toy Story 4, and we always say that was the best trilogy.
Why? Yeah, why tamper with perfection? What are you doing, Pixar? But, look, they haven't steered me wrong yet with these Toy Story movies. Mm-hmm. Everything I've seen and heard about it seems intriguing. Mm-hmm. I love these characters. I love, the voices. So the fact that everybody's, back. I am really withholding my opinion till I see it. Because when I first heard it announced, I just thought, why are we doing this? 3 ended absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, it did.
But Pixar's track record is pretty rock solid, other than the Cars sequels, as we know. Even Cars 3 was all right, though. Mm-hmm. So I am going to reserve my judgment until I see it. Well, I don't think it's probably not necessary, but
no,
it might be great.
I think that's fair, and I think you're right. I do agree that I think to the main story it is unnecessary. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking about it, and now you don't really watch trailers. Have you seen any teasers or trailers for it?
I've seen a teaser when I saw Mary Poppins.
Okay, with the spork.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I saw another trailer.
I think it was Mary Poppins.
And, well, that would make sense.
Anyway, that
would be a good one, which I like, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. So I saw that trailer, and I saw another one to kind of give me, a taste.
Okay.
And I think it might be changing my perspective just a little. I'm a little more open-minded to it than I was. Mm-hmm. Because before I was like, well, of course, it's obvious cash grab. Don't touch it. It's perfect trilogy. But I think there is a way to do it, and they're kind of going about it the smartest way they can. You're absolutely right. Andy's story is done.
Right.
But new story.
Buzz and Woody's story is not done.
Technically, you could say that.
And they've proven that with the shorts. the 3 or 4 shorts they've done have been pretty funny, and so I'm good with it. Mm-hmm. I just it isn't necessary. But when I think about all of the umpteenth sequels that we've seen for the animated franchises, they all typically decrease in quality. I'm thinking of things like Ice Age, Despicable Me.
Yeah.
What's the one? Shrek.
Mostly, yeah.
But the Toy Story ones, you could argue, keep getting better.
Or at least
as good. I don't think you could say they're crashing and burning.
No.
So
they never lost momentum. Really.
Right. So with that in mind, it seems less like a cash grab and more like a, look, we've got a beloved stable of characters here. Mm-hmm. The voice actors are all still willing to go forth with it. Let's keep it moving. And I think people are excited about it.
I kind of am.
I think actually people are excited about pretty much the entire Disney slate for the year. Because you've got, Dumbo, Aladdin. Oh, yeah. We could talk about that too.
Actually, let's talk about that for sure. For sure.
Then the new Marvel stuff. So I think I think Disney's going to have a great year, and I think people are excited about Toy Story.
Definitely, and I think I think you might be right about it not really being a cash grab because much like Toy Story 3, it's not like they just banged it out. They waited. They thought
Yeah, I mean, it's been 9 years since Toy Story 3.
So
Ice Age, it was like every other year they were making a terrible, terrible movie.
So it might be some time to mull over what story we actually do want to tell.
Right, and I think Pixar is good at that. I think that's, they like to take their time. I think you and I both agree Monsters U was fantastic.
I liked it. I really liked that one, actually.
I think Finding Dory was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
All of their sequels really, with that asterisk of Cars, have been pretty great. I mean, Incredibles 2 was very good.
It was good.
So, I'm excited to see where they take the story. Because, Andy was never... I mean, he was part of it, but it's not his story. It's not his movie, really.
No.
It's the toys.
Though by Toy Story 3, they really made you feel more like it was kind of his story, but that's a whole nother...
But that's a whole ball of wax.
But it's also why it's great.
So before we get on to our Aladdin tangent...
Yes, that's good.
Because we should talk about that.
That's going to be the thumbnail.
Prepared,
I forgot about that. That's going to be the thumbnail.
But you wanted to talk about specifically the Bo Peep focus.
Yeah, because I want to get your take on that because that's the only real thing this other teaser showed is, okay, not only is Bo Peep returned, which is kind of acknowledging the one real question people had about the previous movie. Right. She's also got a new design, and it very much seems to be the Bo Peep movie.
Yeah, she's apparently a major part of the plot. Mm-hmm. And... I wasn't riddled with burning questions in 3 about where she went.
Some people were.
Because I know. Oh, internet. But I just feel like they sort of mentioned that she wasn't part of the crew anymore, when they were like, oh, those we've lost, oh, Bo Peep, I just kind of chalked it up to sort of just the obvious, like, she wasn't really a toy. She was a porcelain lamp doll thing.
Would Andy really want to play with her?
Andy has no use for. So that's number 1. Number 2, they said that they've donated a lot of stuff.
Sexist.
No, because it's a lamp, a porcelain doll, not because she's a girl.
I mean, his imagination, he incorporated her into his games, his stories beforehand.
Well, I know. Well, I know, you're right. It's
no,
weird.
I know what you mean.
Like Jessie, Jessie's a girl. Like that, I don't have a,
What would happen to her? Yeah.
But I just Bo Peep to me, it's just like, well, she's not technically really a toy, even though you're right, he incorporated her into the fantasies and stuff.
Couldn't really do much with her, yeah.
But yeah, so I just sort of thought over time that, okay, she either got donated or broke. I mean, she's porcelain.
Dark.
So I don't know, I just never gave it much thought, really.
Okay.
And then I guess when the movie was out, people were saying things. I didn't really pay attention at that point.
No.
But I'm seeing it now.
People are like, oh,
man. People are like, oh, my God. Here's my Bo Peep,
I was waiting
top
for
5 theories. It's like,
what?
Okay. You really thought long and hard about that. So I'm fine with a Bo Peep focus.
Okay.
I'm fine with an anything focus. Although Rickles is dead. And he voiced Mr. Potato Head. So I don't know. I haven't really read up on whether they're going to have somebody do the voice. Because that did happen in Cars. George Carlin, who was the old VW Beetle. Or not Beetle, but the van. And they, recast his voice. And Jim Varney, Ernest, who voiced Slinky Dog, died before the 3rd one.
A while ago, yeah.
And they had somebody else do his voice for the 3rd one. Mm-hmm. So, I assume they'll still have Potato Head in it and just have somebody do a Don Rickles impression.
They're good voice actors.
Yeah, I was going to say, which shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, I didn't think of that till right now. But, no, I'm fine with the Bo Peep story.
Cool.
Look, they've not steered us wrong yet on the Toy Stories.
Not yet.
Not yet.
This could be the one.
I hope not.
I hope not either, but you have to admit, it would also be a very interesting conversation.
Oh, well, yeah. Any famed series that crashes and burns is an interesting conversation.
But I hope it doesn't either.
Yeah, I hope it's good.
Always rather see a good movie than a bad one. But I think it's a good segue, though. I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a big news item. The Aladdin trailer.
The old blue Genie.
Reveal Will Smith. You know, I want to hear what you have to say about that, Dan, because I'll let you know afterwards.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. In terms of like Aladdin and the lore and my history with Aladdin,
Sure.
it's not great. Of all of those, and I don't mean the movie is not great. Just my history with it is there's just not much to tell.
Okay, interesting.
I saw it in theaters in whatever that was, 91, I guess.
92, I believe.
Oh, you're right, 92, 91 was Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
And I've seen it, I think, once since.
Wow.
I'm familiar with the soundtrack. Big Gilbert Gottfried fan. But, Aladdin was not one that I went back to over and over and over again, like so many people.
Interesting. Okay.
So, I don't have quite as an attachment. I mean, when it came out, you're a bit younger than me. When it came out, I was already in high school.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up on Aladdin like a lot of people
I did.
that are on the internet.
Those people.
So in terms of me, I when I heard the Will Smith casting, I thought this is an excellent choice. There's not many that can even attempt to recreate something that Robin Williams is synonymous with. I mean, easily one of his top roles.
Agreed.
Will Smith, Jim Carrey. It's about the two names that I can think of.
Yeah, I can see Jim Carrey pulling off, maybe.
I think Will Smith is charismatic.
Yeah.
Genie's got to be charismatic.
Yes.
I think Will Smith is funny. Got to be funny. Quick. Check, check, check.
Focus.
Blue. He is that. He is blue, as we've seen many times now. I don't know. I mean, I think that Disney has gotten these live action ones right.
Yeah.
And like we just said with Toy Story, maybe this will be the one that stumbles. Because I don't think it'll be Dumbo. I think Dumbo looks excellent.
Dumbo looks interesting.
And Keaton again.
Well, yeah. Automatic
B A
plus,
minus minimum. Founder. That's a great movie. Founder is a good movie, though.
Founder is really good. Check it out.
But no, I think... I think it's impossible to fill a Robin Williams' shoes. Like, for example, you just mentioned Mary Poppins earlier. Well, I mentioned it and you said it was good. Right?
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
And we love Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Was Emily Blunt Julie Andrews, though? No. Mm-mm. No one can be and no one will be. Mm-mm. She is a classic unto herself and she is Mary Poppins.
Doing her best imitation.
Yeah, so in that respect, I mean, look, you're not going to recreate how amazing the Robin Williams Genie was.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. But Will Smith is so likable, and other than Deadshot, he hasn't really had a hit in a while. I think he's probably due. You mentioned Focus, which we enjoyed, but it wasn't a hit.
No.
And that movie where he does the dominoes that came out at Christmas time a few years ago, that was terrible.
What was that?
With Kate Winslet.
Collateral.
Collateral Beauty. Very good.
Yeah.
And then he did that Bright for Netflix. So, I mean, I think the time is right for Will Smith to return to a big budget, comedic, action-y kind of role.
Well, apparently Bad Boys 3.
And Bad Boys 3 is going to be coming out.
So, this might be a
and I don't think he has anything to do with the new Men in Black that's coming out, but...
Really?
Maybe he'll have a cameo, I don't know.
Wow, okay. Wow.
But, yeah, so I think... I don't know. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it looks a little corny. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But, look, the powers that be at Disney,
hey,
they know what they're doing with these live-action remakes.
So far, yeah.
So far. So, I don't know.
Hey, man, I don't really like Cinderella, the animated movie, that much, and I thought that...
You liked the
I thought their live-action version was really good.
So let's hear about Will Smith.
I mean, I pretty much agree with a lot of what you said. You can't really fill Robin Williams' shoes. Now, when it comes to Aladdin, I grew up with it, obviously.
Yeah, it's one of your favorites, I believe.
Yeah, I mean,
of the Disney classics.
I haven't really thought too much about it lately, to be honest. But yeah, Aladdin really was one of my favorites growing up. I just loved the music and the animation. It really is kind of like one of the great Disney animated movies of the 90s, and if not all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is really good. And I think a big part of that is Robin Williams as the Genie. I mean, a lot of people say he gravitated to that.
He is, I mean, he was perfect for it.
So, yeah, I mean, I loved it. And when I mean, you're right. They have done a good job with these live-action adaptations so far, but that is one big sticking point that everybody was kind of nervous about. And initially, when I heard that Will Smith was going to be the casting choice, I'm like, well, if there's anybody that could do it, I couldn't think of too many other people. Like, I was like, instead of hearing them, I'm like, well, that actually I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
I can't really deny Will Smith could probably pull that off best he could. As long as he doesn't try to, exact copy, kind of make it his own thing, keep the spirit alive.
And
that's his best
think
bet.
He will.
And that's fine.
Because he has a different style than Robin Williams.
Yeah. And it's a different version. It's not going to be exactly the same anyway.
Right.
Fine. So there's some open ground there to play with. I saw the trailer, and I agree with you. It looks a little cheesy. But I guess on principle it's a little cheesy. The magic, Genie in the lamp, I dream of Genie.
Right.
But and I know that it's pre-developed and everything. I think the costumes look good. I think they all look like cool. I recognize Jasmine, I recognize Aladdin. It's cool. They're using appropriate actors, I think, of that region.
Yes.
Very important. Very important, and I'm glad of that.
I have another topic, by the way, that we can go off on too.
Hold it.
Yep, I'm going to hold it in my brain. I just don't want to forget it.
And I was like, okay with the trail. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of seeing this. They got the Cave of Wonders. It actually looks like a real cave that it goes in. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I saw the lamp at the end there, of course, with the Genie, and I'm like, the smoke looks a little poorly rendered by comparison to everything else. I'm like, you see him pop out, and I'm like, it's obviously this big CGI, weird, muscly body with superimposed Will Smith's blue face, and I'm just like, I don't know if there's a way you can make that look better.
Well, and this is the studio that has given us the face rendering, the youth rendering of Kurt Russell,
Johnny Depp,
Depp,
Grand
and
Moff Tarkin from Star Wars,
Downey.
Peter Cushing's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
all those, and I'm like, I know you can do better than that, guys. And it's not that he looks. I'm like, okay, obviously you can't go too cartoony. You want to have Will Smith's face time, but I'm surprised they didn't keep his body normal.
Yeah,
they made
weird.
This big giant orc body, and I'm like, why is this doesn't? That just bothered me to look at.
And he's pretty jacked.
So I'm like, just make, and
it could have just been Will Smith.
It's one of those instances of guys, don't make it CGI, just make him blue. It's fine. I don't it's not. So I did. That was the only thing that kind of made me go, this just feels weird to look at. But it's a teaser. That's why I'm like, it's still early. Yeah. But you have to admit, it was kind of
yeah.
I don't know how I felt about that, but he seems like he's enjoying it. If it wasn't
I think he's going to do a really good job.
If it wasn't for the superimposed weird CGI composition there, I think I would have been okay with it. I think, but I'm like, can we do something about that? That'd be my feedback. But anyway, what's your secondary topic?
Did you see Ralph?
I did not actually.
Okay.
But I'm sure it was good.
All right, Mel.
Keep it fairly spoiler-free if you can. Disney princesses, what?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Tell me about that scene. I don't care.
Okay, well, so I just watched this Ralph Breaks the Internet 2 days ago, so this is new for me.
Nice.
I guess the internet's been buzzing about it for a couple of months now since the movie came out.
All right, cool.
But yeah, the whole princess thing. So Vanellope
von Schweetz
may now be an official Disney princess. I was reading about this today to see what Disney's stamp on it is, and I can't quite figure it out.
I kind of thought she was already by default for some reason. I mean, if Princess Leia is a princess, I'd imagine she would be.
But see, I don't know if they ever really confirmed that. Did they once Carrie Fisher died?
I don't know.
That's the thing. It's this gray area that Disney kind of doesn't really confirm or deny.
Why? It's their character.
I know, but because they don't want to upset anybody. They don't want to upset the Disney purists that are like, oh, well, she's only a Disney princess in retrospect because you bought Lucasfilm. or something like that.
Oh, well, what about
And then-
Penelope then? Why would that be an issue?
Because she's only a princess in her video game, I guess.
Oh.
And not so I never considered her a Disney princess at all.
Oh.
I never even thought about it.
You know what?
To be completely honest,
I like where you're going with this,
But-
because that is an interesting idea. Because you know what? Technically, a lot of the Disney princesses weren't even royalty. I mean, look at Mulan. She wasn't a princess.
that's true.
So
I guess that's true.
Belle,
And Belle was also not royalty.
Original-
But she married.
made into
I
it.
guess didn't she marry the Beast in that movie?
And yeah, at the
Well, they
end.
had sex anyway. We know that.
What? Nah. Not it's complete. No. Not.
But
Eventually, yeah.
yeah, eventually. But yes, so it wasn't even something I even had thought about. But then, of course, the famous princess scene from Ralph Breaks the Internet shows up
Looked funny.
that I'd heard about,
Yeah.
and it was funny.
Good.
And all of the people that are still alive did the voices,
Cool.
which was cool. But yeah, I just never even really considered it. But by the end of the movie, I think she's supposed to be an official Disney princess.
Cool. Why? That's an issue.
No, I don't know if it's an issue. It's just something that's happening that I'm just discovering because I just saw the movie.
Well, that's cool.
I thought you had seen it, so I didn't.
No, it's no big deal. Like
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's cool. That happened. Sure.
And now they're talking about possibly a princess sequel
With just the princess.
with just the princesses, including their first now Jewish princess, Penelope von Schweetz.
Oh, that's cool. Being inclusive.
so-
Remind me which princesses were in the scene. actually.
Like all of them.
Really, all of them.
Like Snow White, Mulan, Moana, Tangled. I know her name is Rapunzel. I call her Tangled. Ariel, Belle. If I didn't say her.
Sleeping Beauty. Cinderella.
No, Cinderella. I don't. Oh yes, Cinderella wasn't it because she talked about her mice making the costumes. I don't know if Sleeping Beauty was in it.
Oh.
And there was one other '90s one, Pocahontas.
Oh.
Oh, and Princess and the Frog Lady, Tiana.
Oh, Tiana.
So that's 9. I think that's about all of them.
Esmeralda is considered a Disney princess, but she's a gypsy.
Oh, Frozen was in it too, even though she's queen. She's,
Hey, well, okay.
Elsa technically is the queen
all
of
right,
Arendelle, but
I always kind of thought that any female lead was a Disney princess. Like even if they weren't actually
not
princess
true,
in
though.
camp. I think if we
is it
look
true?
pretty, I think they're generally considered to be. Most of them are Disney.
Oh,
princesses.
Merida was in it too from Brave.
Oh well, yeah.
God, there was like 11 princesses in the scene.
Cool. So princess.
So pretty much
spin-off.
all of them. So there might be a princess spin-off.
I'd like that. That'd be kind of funny, I imagine.
But no Princess Leia. See, this is the thing. But there were Star Wars characters because they had Stormtroopers. C-3PO made a cameo. So I don't think Disney has ever officially said yes, she is a princess, a Disney princess.
Well, that's interesting because things
So-
could change. What happens if the rights somehow change and she no longer look?
I don't know.
But she's Disney. Well, does that mean that
Right, it's a conundrum.
Does that mean that Captain Marvel and the Wasp are Disney princesses too?
Right. See, no, I would say no to that.
But they could
Yes.
put that branch if they want
yes,
to.
and that's why I
You're
was thrown about Vanellope because she's not even the star of the movie. You just said all the stars in the movie. She's not the star of the movie. Ralph is.
She's one of the leads.
Yeah, one of the leads, but
I'd say it's a dual lead.
Pocahontas, Tangled, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty is the first word of the title. I mean, they're all in the name of the movie. It's not called the Vanellope story.
Well,
I would have seen it, but I love Sarah Silverman.
Story.
All right, well, anyway, so we don't have to dwell too much on that. But
That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, if that
bring
happens,
up.
that'd be cool. So would that be video game based or just a separate thing? You think?
I think it would be a separate movie
Huh. Well, I would.
in the I don't know what
the
universe you would call it.
the Disney animated.
I mean,
it's pure non-Pixar universe.
I
shared
guess.
the expanded.
but shared with Pixar because Merida.
Now, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I guess Pixar and main Disney are now also in the same universe.
I guess so.
But I thought that
I don't know.
Wait a
It's
minute.
very confusing.
Because with Wreck-It Ralph, it's kind of a parody of other pop culture things anyway. So
Right.
they could just be like video game adaptation characters.
yeah, and they were
of
in
this.
the internet when that scene took place.
Yeah. So they could just be from a forum about Disney
I
princesses.
guess so, yeah. It's hard to wrap your head around.
All right. Well, that definitely has possibilities.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I guess we can finally move away from Disney.
So that's our Disney discussion for the cast.
Kind of no real. Wait.
segue.
I got it. Mushu from Mulan.
Okay,
Eddie Murphy. Eddie
Oh,
Murphy's
very good.
Disney. This is 6 Degrees of Eddie Murphy.
And I was gonna say from princesses to a prince.
What did Prince? Where do you find a
Hakeem.
princess? Prince Hakeem. Yes. We literally just found out about this the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, Coming to America sequel.
2020.
Officially
announced. I think this is great news.
I don't know how many people on my channel will care, because I don't know if we've talked. I think we did did we talk about it on Film Fanatics at some point? Had to have.
I'm sure we've talked about Coming to America several times. It's one of your and my favorite comedies of all time. There's no way we haven't brought up The Barbershop.
Yes.
Sexual Chocolate. God. All of McDowell's.
The Bathers. Louis Anderson.
All of it.
Just so many great lines.
The
scenes.
soul glow.
Let your soul glow.
Do you know something my brother reminded me of when we were down at Disney, actually, to bring it back to Disney,
Sure.
over Christmas. He brought up a line from that movie that I hadn't thought about in like 15 years, but it's something we used to say all the time as kids. Remember when they're at the Sexual Chocolate show and they're passing around the donations plate, and Arsenio Hall goes, "Well, I thought it was the trash.
It was a trash basket." It's like, donations. He puts the wing in.
What a throwaway line.
So funny.
And even that has stuck with my family for 25, 30 years. Like,
it's just, the writing's good, but I think it's also just how energetic and cartoony everyone kind of is.
It's one of the most sharply written comedies of the 80s, for sure.
But you know...
Murphy and Hall are dynamite together.
Why didn't they do more movies together?
Because their second movie stunk.
Which one was that?
Harlem Nights.
I never saw it.
It was terrible.
I did hear it was bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
But I mean, you know what? Come on, give him Arsenio Hall's funny, man. His show is funny.
Arsenio Hall is funny, and I don't know if he's going to return. We haven't heard anything about that. I hope so. We've heard that for sure. Murphy's in.
Well, he needs.
And we've heard that James Earl Jones is in.
And also another Disney connection, Mufasa, Lion King.
True.
James Earl Jones. So it is connected.
And Darth Vader.
Double connected.
Now Disney.
Does that make him a Disney Prince, Disney King?
Disney villain.
Well, he was
Disney villain for sure.
Disney villain.
And he was a Disney King in Lion King.
Oh, okay.
So those two are on board. The beautiful part is, I think pretty much everybody is still alive.
Well,
John Amos, Mr. McDowell is still alive.
Yes.
Eric LaSalle, who plays the Soul Glow boyfriend, is still alive. Arsenio Hall, obviously. Louis Anderson, as we mentioned,
has to be
Samuel L. Jackson.
Definitely.
I think
he better be made. No, he should still be like a tiny throwaway scene, but he has to be in it.
I think. Did you read my comment?
I liked it, but I want you to put it. I want you to put it on here.
So I suggested that first of all, Louis Anderson, right, should be moving up a little bit. I said on lettuce.
Oh, at least on fries.
You said yeah, but I said they should also have Samuel L. Jackson return as that same the robber, but he's now working for McDowell's on like a prison reform program. So he's the one now that's taking the Louis Anderson role.
That's great.
As Louis Anderson moves up,
I
think that would be funny.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I think that would be. Thank you.
That's really good.
I think that'd be funny. Everybody's pretty much alive and still acting. Nobody's retired from it. Even John Amos still does stuff. Mr. McDowell. So I would love to see as many people return for this as possible.
I can see so many good jokes.
And this is it's almost a cult movie because even though it was a big hit, it's sort of it's one that doesn't really get talked about, but the people that love it
love it.
Like I saw a guy with a Sexual Chocolate shirt like a year ago, and I was like, oh my god, Sexual Chocolate. It's like
it is.
It was very popular at the time, but like when you think of the Eddie Murphy ones that get talked about. I think like Beverly Hills Cop gets talked about more probably.
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, the Nutty Professor, Dr. Doolittle, like when he started doing the family-friendly stuff.
Yeah. Great hits like Holy Man.
Okay. God, you love Holy Man.
I do. I will go.
You love it.
I will defend that one forever. But yeah.
But but the people that love this movie are passionate about it.
Well, it really sticks with you. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a certain humor, but you're right. And I have met people. Actually, I work with some people that really love the movie and they quote it all the time.
Right.
And it gets a laugh, and I'm just like, I hear it. And
it's one of the most quotable movies.
But you're right. It's not. I don't want to say that it's not like a well-known film.
But when you think, even let's take Eddie Murphy out of it. When you think like, what are the funniest movies of the '80s? I don't think most people, like you and I, might say Coming to America.
Oh yeah.
But I think most people would say like, oh, Ferris Bueller, or maybe some of the John Candy movies or something. Like,
sure.
People love Uncle Buck or Great Outdoors or
Trains.
or some of the Bill Murray stuff. Meatballs, whatever. But like, I don't know. Like, Coming to America holds a special place for so many people. That I think if they do this well, this could be the comedy hit of the year.
It could be. Though I have to wonder, where do you think it could go, story-wise?
Well, here's what I've heard.
Okay.
I've heard something about how he has to come back to America to find his own son, who is, I guess, sowing his wild oats or whatever.
Seriously?
Something about the hierarchy of the royalty.
That's now a tradition.
And so, which I don't really understand, because if James Earl Jones is coming back, then he's still the king. Anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, he's still waiting.
Maybe they'll explain that. He's still waiting in line for the throne, Prince Akeem is. So why would he care that his son... But from what I read, he's going to travel back to America, hopefully to Queens, to try and, bring his own son back for...
Some wedding or something.
Something. So, I'm down with it. And what's great is, if this is a hit... Something that we talked about last time may be a reality.
What's that?
Triplets.
Yes.
If this revives the Eddie Murphy comedy career, Triplets is a movie that has been on the
development hell.
Development hell for literally 20 years. It's the sequel to Twins. So you've got DeVito, Schwarzenegger, Murphy. I mean, talk about
what a
comedy gold.
Oh my god. That would be great.
So I think that would be great. My only real worry is I really am trying hard to think of a movie sequel from 20 years
plus,
or even 10 years plus, that is really hit. Like Zoolander 2 wasn't good. Dumb and Dumber 2 was horrible.
I don't like that.
So I'm hoping that they can, really capture that magic from the first time. Keep what was great about it.
I liked the sequel to My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I didn't think that was bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was decent.
That was pretty good. I can't deny that.
But you're right, there aren't many.
I mean, and Clerks 2 as well. Clerks 2 was good.
But even so, that was like a decade or so.
Yeah, it was about 12 years, I think.
30 years.
Or something. This is now 32 by the time I guess it comes out. 32 years.
Man.
So, I don't know. But, I think, personally, Eddie Murphy gets a bad rap.
He's had a rough time.
I think his last... let's say 15 years worth of movies have been critically savaged, except for when he steps out of, like when he was in Dreamgirls. That was great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a comedy.
No.
When he does Donkey, it's a comedy, but it's animated, so it's a little different. It's more for kids.
Ensemble, too.
It's more of an ensemble. So...
Limelight.
His starring live-action roles... have not been well received, and I think some of them have been... I mean, I never saw Holy Man. I know you like that.
I kind of enjoyed it, yeah.
There was one where he had a little girl. I think it was called Imagine That or Imagine If or something. Yeah. I thought that was really cute. He did that Tower Heist movie that I thought was good with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
I think he's really... I think he's gotten a bad rap. I think he's still probably very funny.
What do you think that is? Because I don't think his style's changed. It's kind of like Sandler.
I think his... Well, okay, you actually to use Sandler as a comparison, I think Sandler's been doing the same movies for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I think the audience market has changed. You know, I mean, Grown Ups, if it came out when Billy Madison came out, maybe it would have been a bigger hit or funnier or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's been doing the same crap for 25 years.
Literally.
I think Eddie Murphy's literally. I think Eddie started to, after the family-friendly, like, you know, Nutty Professor stuff, Dr. Dolittle, Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
I think he tried to expand that a little bit. He did that, like, prison movie with Martin Lawrence. I think that was called Life.
Oh,
and, you know, so he tried to do that, and that didn't take. And then he was like, okay, well, let's do more, you know, R-rated comedies then. And so then he was doing, like, you know, I Spy and Holy Man and all that kind of stuff, and just like it wasn't hitting. And I don't know why the audience wasn't there. I think by that point, the whole R-rated comedy scene was more dominated by like Apatow type stuff. Would be my guess, and like American Pie, more raunchy,
just different comedy.
And and Murphy was never about. I mean, he had sex jokes and stuff,
but that was about it.
But that was about it. It was never about like gross out humor or anything like that. So I don't know. I think, you know, he was trying to do a lot of the same stuff, and like look at Norbit. You know, here's him trying again for the Nutty Professor Coming to America thing, where he's playing like 5 different roles. Yeah. The fat mom. You know, it just was more of the same, and people I think were sick of it. So, but we haven't seen him in years. I mean, I can't even think of the last movie he was in.
Mr. Church.
You're right. It actually probably was. It probably was Call Me Mr. Church.
Which I didn't think he was that bad in.
He was the best part of it. The script was not great.
But it was a dramatic role. He did decent,
but he did good in the dramatic role.
So, I mean, I think he's not bad.
Boy, has he been in anything since Mr. That was probably about 3 years ago.
Because I remember we talked about that, and that's the first movie I'd seen him in years.
Years. Yeah, it's a good question.
Like, I think as far as... I don't think he's had many big hits or major
other than the Shrek franchise...
That's true.
You know, I don't think he's really done much.
Not that he probably needs that much.
That was it, and that was 2016. Before that was 1,000 Words, which is that famously 0% on Rotten. To be honest, it was okay. I think I gave it a C-. It wasn't warranted a 0%.
That was also another example of, you know, that movie was hated on. But I thought it was okay. It was an interesting concept.
I liked the concept, and... it came out in 2012, but it sat on the shelf for like 3 or 4 years. So he didn't even make that recently. And then before that was Tower Heist.
And it's pretty much just...
So in the last 10 years, other than a couple of Shrek movies, he's only done 4 live-action movies.
His career slowed down.
Tower Heist, 1,000 Words, Mr. Church. So...
Like the last 10 years, he's done like 10 movies.
And I think it's good for him to see that there's some buzz about this. I think that would hopefully... Like, for a while they were talking about doing a Beverly Hills Cop TV show that he would produce. That never came to be. And then they talked about maybe let's do Beverly Hills Cop 4, and that never came to be.
Holy Man.
So, Holy Man 2, you know... You love that movie.
Well, Goldblum's on a streak, so maybe he could come back and do 5 minutes of that, and then I bet he'd do the rest.
Here's something for your channel. You should do all the Man movies. Minus Man, Holy Man... Wasn't there one other? What's the one? Marathon Man.
Marathon Man with Dustin. That's a good movie. Superman.
Superman.
That's will be all these superheroes.
If you have to exclude superheroes.
Okay, all the mans.
Renaissance Man.
I know
you love that.
I never talked about that on Film Fanatics.
I know you love that movie though.
It's a good day to be there.
But anyway, so I think it would be great for his career if this is a success. I would love to see him make a comeback.
Yeah, you're right though. That would be cool to see. And you know, if it does do well, I think Triplets would be great.
I think Triplets would be fantastic.
Want to make it
for sure. Yeah.
But you know, that's a good segue because in addition to things that like we talked about this, I want you guys to know. All right, we want some of the dough. Okay, we talked about this. You took our idea.
Literally just the other week off air we talked about.
And then like a day or two later we found out the news. Like okay, so. For those of you who don't know, we both love Frasier, Kelsey Grammer.
Huge Frasier fans.
Love that show. And we're kind of joking, like, you know, they
with
really
all the reboots.
Let's
Time is right for Frasier.
to come back, do like a little show or something about
Yeah.
like doing a podcast or whatever.
Yeah,
It'd be perfect. It's perfect for this day and age.
And so literally the other day he was on, I think it was James Corden, promoting. To be honest, I can't even remember.
Some other thing.
Something that was not Frasier.
that no one's going to care about.
But they talked about, hey, what is going on with, are you going to bring Frasier back? Now, the dad, of course, is dead. John Mahoney died about a year ago.
Sadly.
In real life.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what sort of sparked the talk about it. And a lot of the original creators and writers and stuff are on board.
Nice.
They want to see this happen. And they're still working out a lot of the details, of course. But one thing we know is he is off the radio show. It's not going to be a podcast like we talked about. Grammer said he would like it to be something like either he is a professor, which could be certainly interesting.
These days,
college professor.
Very good.
Or him and Niles open an art gallery and he's an art dealer.
Ooh.
Which I think might be a little less interesting just because I'm not so much on the art.
But it could be good to get the two of them.
But to have them go into a business together could be very interesting.
They're both snooty enough that I think it could work.
Yes.
It's appropriate for the character.
Yes. So, early stages, but we'll see. The fact that they're actually talking about it usually means that things are in motion.
That's awesome.
So,
and we were just kind of joking about it.
We were just riffing about it because we've been wanting to do this podcast idea I had for literally probably the last 5 years.
So yeah,
is Frasier Friday, where every Friday we post a video about our favorite Frasier episodes, or maybe talk, review each season at a time, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just anything related to Frasier, because you and I are both huge Frasier fans.
Yeah, and that's a very good show.
It's a very good show.
And I don't know. Is that a show that's more of a cult hit, or is that all actually rivaling some of the other big sitcoms?
I would actually say it's not a cult hit.
Okay.
Because it was such a huge raging success when it was on.
Okay.
Number one.
Good.
And number two, I don't think it gets really discussed in circles the way that, say, Friends does.
Yeah.
Or The Office or Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So I think...
But that's another one of those shows where I meet all different kinds of people, that
are into Frasier.
and you might just meet them and think I wouldn't picture them as a Frasier fan, and they are. I remember years ago, back when I was working in a restaurant, I was just literally singing the opening theme to myself while I was making some food.
Classic.
And I think my manager at this time, it just was like, she was like, oh, Frasier, I love that show. I was like, what? So people don't talk about it, but a lot of people do like that show.
That's the thing. I mean, it was a ratings juggernaut. It was, top 10 the entire 11 years it was on the air.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of love out there for that character, certainly. And I would love to see the Frasier reboot.
Do you think there ever will be an episode or a sequence where we actually do see him cooking, like making tossed salad and scrambled eggs?
Making scrambled eggs and salad.
Good night.
Maybe. He does love to cook. I mean,
he loves to cook, play piano.
Yeah. So I think it'll be very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where these characters are now. Obviously you would have to get everybody back. Jane leaves and David Hyde Pierce.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love to come back. His career's kind of slowed down.
I don't think any of them are doing anything. She was on Hot in Cleveland for a few years, but...
Did you ever see it? The last movie I saw with David Hyde Pierce was really random. I think it's the last major thing he did for a while. It was The Perfect Host or whatever. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, that was interesting. It was like a thriller. He invited people over and there were like murders and stuff. It was literally like the...
opposite of Niles, for sure.
Well, kind of like along the lines of Niles' character, but without the humor.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? If Niles was more intimidating.
I could see that, actually.
A bit that. You check it out.
Okay.
Sometime. Because
Perfect Host.
That's the last thing he was up to since this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of too much that any of the cast is up to, except Grammer always gets work.
The big action
star. He's an action star for a couple of years. He's gone from show to show to show. But I think it's a beloved character. I think when one of the all-time great characters on TV. Really.
I'd agree.
You know?
Very likable, very interesting. And I don't know what it is about the show. I just always gravitated to it. And I kind of always would joke that for me, Frasier was a show that oftentimes when I'm feeling pretty down, I'll watch some Frasier.
Put it on and it always lifts your spirits.
Which is interesting because it's about psychiatry, and oftentimes they kind of discuss Frasier's woes with his problems with his family or work, love life, whatever. And it's funny because you see, I mean, not to go too off from Frasier, but he's this guy who's very educated. He's very successful, but he's got a lot of doubts.
Right.
And he's got a lot of worries and anxieties, and it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the classic case, you know.
And he's,
the psychiatrist who can't fix
his own problems. Yeah, no, and it's funny. Yeah. And like, I love...
And the fact that his brother's a psychiatrist.
Oh, and they clash all the time. Oh, and I think Niles is hilarious.
I want to watch it right now. I really...
Nah.
I can't wait for Frasier Friday to finally be a reality. This is going to happen on my channel, guys.
Yeah, so...
For real.
Definitely check... if you guys like Frasier... you're interested in learning more about it, check it out because Dan and I are going to be doing some Frasier videos.
Some really in-depth, like, Frasier dissections.
Because I don't really think there's many of them online, honestly.
No. And I think that's why my channel did so well with Roseanne reviews. Because I don't think anybody's reviewing Roseanne episodes like I was.
No, but I'd say go for it. And when this new show comes on, you got to review the new episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
You got it.
Absolutely. So, yes, we had to bring that up because you and I have been discussing let's do Frasier Friday for literally years, and it started out as a joke.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know,
but I always thought it was down.
We always were like in the back of our minds, like, oh, maybe we should do it. You know,
it just has a nice ring to it. You know, alliteration's always good.
Absolutely, I love it.
We never did figure out that perfect schedule. We missed that one day.
Yeah, we still can't figure out Saturday, but
well, there's so many things with beginning.
Such is life. Oh no, Thursday was our problem. We couldn't figure out Thursday. I think Saturday was Sex in the City or something.
Probably.
Yeah, I forget what Thursday was supposed to be. But Frasier Friday was always the cornerstone
of this idea.
Of the idea. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah, so 2020, if Coming to America 2020, Frasier reboot, it'll probably take them that long to put all the pieces together and everything. That's going to be a good year for us. That's for sure.
Well, by any chance, do you know if it's being released by a major network or is it going to be like HBO or something?
They haven't discussed any of that
because
yet.
That would also be interesting too if we could see a more R-rated Frasier.
That's true.
Because remember we were discussing that seems to be like where a lot of the big comedies
that's
too.
true.
The really darker stuff.
I have the feeling HBO though doesn't really do laugh track or live audience shows.
True.
So I think look, NBC's comedy slate.
Rough?
It's rough. Other than The Good Place, which is fantastic. Superstore, people seem to like. I don't think it's that good, but that's about it. I mean, they don't have any hit comedies really anymore.
Speaking of The Good Place, I haven't actually seen it. It looks funny.
Excellent show.
It looks good. Have you checked out the other show about heaven? Miracle Workers or whatever?
I have not.
It's Steve Buscemi and
I like Buscemi, but he's not doing Adam Sandler movies.
But great. And with Danny Radcliffe?
Oh, that's the Daniel Radcliffe one. You know what? I've heard of that. I have not seen it yet. What's the premise of it?
I think it's Miracles Happen or Miracle Workers. It's basically just Steve Buscemi's God, and I guess he's gotten a little tired and fed up, so he's trying to focus on other things. And and all of heaven is a massive corporation, and there's literally like a witch department, and Danny Radcliffe's the only person working, and Girl comes in, and they try to resolve some issues. Okay. So it looks kind of cool.
That's very interesting. What is that on Showtime or something?
No, I think TBS. I think
TBS has some very interesting shows.
So I think it's a mini series. So which I was thinking, I don't know if they're going to be able to sustain that long. But people say that's a
honest.
Good place comparison. Yeah.
There's too much on TV. I can't keep up.
Guys, he's preaching the choir. This is why my content has been varied because honestly, there's so much I want to talk about. I never have time to really construct a really good video about it. That's why I just do podcasts talking about everything I can. Right. There's old shows I want to Frasier I rewatch all the time.
Right. I'm still trying to get into old shows. I just told you off air that I saw Kelsey Grammer this morning on a show called Kate and Allie from the 80s that I'd never seen before, but I had the box set, and I said, this box set's been sitting here. I may as well at least check out the show. And, this show is 35 years old. Nobody talks about it. You never even heard of it.
Nope.
It ran for 6 years.
Wow. Damn, okay.
But there you go. It's like there's so many old shows I still want to check out that the new ones are. It's so hard to.
That's I think that's really the double-edged sword of living in the times we live in, because I feel like a lot of the stuff I've been talking about on my blog, actually, I've been writing a lot about how maybe it's partially the nostalgia, but it's also the fact that there's more technology available, and a lot of people that grew up with these things can bring them back, and all these fandoms are getting the stuff they want. It's just like literally.
But it's overkill.
There's so much stuff.
Too much stuff.
Like literally, I'll be honest. I love the Netflix Marvel stuff. But when I heard that Hulu's going to be doing 4 new
taking over.
Offenders, they're going to do a MODOK show, and like with all these other, and I'm like, I'll be honest,
it's too much.
I was like, I know you want me to guide, but Hulu, I can't, I'm like,
but people will come out and watch.
That's great,
you know.
But like, it's hard to keep up with all these shows.
It really is.
And I'm just thinking, like back in the day, really you could have your couple channels, your couple shows.
When I was growing up,
I missed those days. When I was growing up too,
it was literally. I mean, God, I remember when Fox wasn't even a channel.
Really?
Oh yeah, I remember when Fox first started. 1987, baby, Married with Children.
Oh wow.
First show. But yeah, I mean, when I was real little, it was CBS, ABC, NBC, and then all the reruns. You know, everybody watched all the same shows. Even if they were 25 years old, everybody watched Gilligan's Island. Everybody watched The Brady Bunch. I Love Lucy.
And another, the big water cooler one, X-Files. Everybody was on that, could talk about that.
Oh yeah,
that was on.
Yep.
But nowadays it's like,
well, there aren't many. I mean, I would say the last like water cooler show was probably Lost.
What about The Office? People like that one a lot. People talk about that one a lot.
Yeah, now.
You know when it was on?
A little bit, but I mean, it never got good ratings.
Seriously?
I don't think people watched it that much when it was on. I did.
For real? Really?
Yeah.
I loved The Office, but you know what?
So did I, but it was on against, Big Bang Theory and stuff.
To be fair, I think I was introduced to it like when it was on for a while on DVD season 7 or something. So.
Like, that's a show, and How I Met Your Mother was the same. Breaking Bad was the same.
Breaking Bad people didn't care about until it was almost over.
People didn't start watching that until it hit Netflix. And so that's that's why I would say no. The Office probably was not a water cooler show.
Is that a first world problem, Dan? We're complaining about
having
so many shows to watch. Oh man!
Everything I've ever probably complained about on your channel is a first world problem. I can't imagine anything I've ever complained about that was real.
I'm just trying to think. What's the most important thing? Probably like some of the James Gunn, some of like the hashtag Me Too stuff. We've touched on.
That was real, yeah. That's true.
Touched on that a little. Stanley's death, I think, was some celebrity deaths.
That's
we
true.
touch on some things, but you're right. Mostly it's just like, oh man.
Mostly it's why is CBS All Access charging money?
Oh,
I mean,
sidebar.
Trek cartoon.
I'm looking forward to that.
I just heard about that like a couple hours ago. Trek cartoon for Nickelodeon.
Trek cartoon on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, they're making it for Nickelodeon.
Is Hanna-Barbera gonna be involved again? That'd be so great.
Boy, I don't think so.
That'd be so great if it was.
I don't think Hanna-Barbera is a company anymore.
Didn't they fold into something, merge into something? Don't they still do something? Because remember, Harvey Birdman, I think they were involved with that.
Well, and I guess they would still have the rights to all the Scooby-Doo stuff.
Yeah.
Because Scooby-Doo was theirs. Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, maybe not, but hey, that'd be really cool. Because I think...
But it's for Nickelodeon, I read.
Trek needs... Well, Nick does a good job with their Ninja Turtles and stuff.
Yeah.
They have some good cartoons, obviously. Avatar.
Yeah, it's going to be in that line, more of the adult... or
like mature...
More tween than kids.
But if they get some of the writers that have worked on some of those shows, like the Avatar team, to try Trek needs a good cartoon. Because I feel like...
Yeah.
That's one area where... As much as I love Star Trek, I think that Star Wars has always beaten it because it appeals to kids.
Right.
More cartoons, more action figures, video games. Star Trek needs to dabble a little more in that to get kids into it more. Because I think kids do grow up with it sometimes. I did. I liked it.
Right.
But I think we need to have a little more fun geared towards younger audiences.
Okay.
I
can see that.
I'd be curious to see where that goes. I'd like to hear that.
I was actually fairly disappointed when I heard... that the All Access show cursed. To me, that's not Trek. Trek is family friendly.
Oh, when she drops the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
On Discovery. And I don't, to me... Well, and same thing with when I heard Tarantino was going to direct the next Trek. And we talked about that. To me, Trek
Wholesome,
It
kind
was
of.
wholesome.
Because it's the best we can
Because it's
be.
from the 60s and it was on TV first before anything. So you had to be wholesome.
But, pinnacle of
But then
people were all...
those sort of values, let's say...
transported.
Yeah, into all the different iterations of Trek. And so I was honestly disappointed to hear that.
It was weird. I mean, to be fair, realistically, this is early days of Starfleet. I'm sure that sometimes Riker or somebody would have dropped an F-bomb. Maybe.
I know.
But I know what you're saying.
Come on.
I know. It doesn't really feel like Trek to me.
Yeah.
I did finish the first season.
Okay.
My buddy Nathaniel got me through it all. And there are some things about it that I think are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But... I think, and maybe you'll eventually watch it, I don't like the main character
Okay.
a lot, and I don't like what they did with the Klingons.
Okay.
It just bothers me. But I think with the new season, they're bringing in Christopher Pike, they're bringing in Spock,
Right.
they're trying to appease...
Love a good Pike.
Yeah. So, we'll see. Trek has a reputation for having a rough start for things.
Well, that is true. We all know the first season of Next Gen...
Pretty rough.
Not great. First season of DS9 took a little bit.
Voyager was rough, too.
Yeah, I'll say.
You didn't make it through Enterprise, but I could tell you earlier.
I watched that one episode, the pilot.
And you're like, you want to review that one? Everyone? No. Not really.
No, I was good on that. But so I'm intrigued to see what they do. I think Nick does do a good job, like you said, with some of their more older children cartoons.
Mature-themed kids cartoons. I really liked it.
Did they originally... I know they ran it, but was Avatar Last Airbender their show?
I believe so.
Okay.
That was a Nickelodeon
Good on
show.
them.
Yeah, and I love that show. I kind of...
Yeah, many people do.
I want to rewatch
And the
show.
movie.
It's not true, Dan. We watched the movie.
F. It was an F.
The movie is hard.
Talk about an F-bomb.
What a travesty,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, people don't love the movie.
No.
Though apparently they're doing more with it.
Are they? No, they're not. Why? Because Shyamalan's popular again?
I think yes.
Come on.
I heard they're thinking about doing something with
Look,
it.
you can't polish a turd. That movie was terrible.
Did you see Glass?
Not yet. I haven't heard good things about it, though, I'll tell you that.
Well, when you see it, let me know how you feel.
Okay.
Because I felt certain ways about it. But
I have not heard good things about it, so I'm sure you didn't like it. I never.
Well, I'm
I never
a big fan of
watched-
Unbreakable.
He does spoilers, so I never watch his reviews until I watch the movies. So I will check out your review of Glass, but I haven't yet. But I'm sure you have many, many things to say about it.
well, I saw the Broly Dragon Ball Super movie, and,
Yeah.
and I actually liked that.
I heard that was not very good.
Who told you that?
One of my Dragon Ball friends.
Well, you know what? Some people have said they didn't like it, but you know what?
Because I told him, because I knew you
actually-
liked it. And I said, I heard it was good. And he was like, wow, it stinks.
All right,
and I was like, okay.
Okay, well, maybe.
I don't know.
I know you don't know, but let me tell you this, Dan.
Tell me.
Maybe to the casual, it really depends on what you're looking for. Because, side note here, a couple of my friends that I talked to online that are big Dragon Ball fans in the fandom group, Anime Hero, Walking the World, they said the exact same things that I did.
Okay.
And this might just be growing up and changing your perception of the show or whatever. But the thing I like about Dragon Ball, I've noticed, is that they tend to grow with you.
Oh, okay.
The writing tends to. So, this show, if you're looking for a lot of the action and screaming and machismo stuff, you're not going to find as much of that in this movie.
Okay.
Because, Dan, I would say you could watch that movie and probably get some enjoyment out of it. Do you know why? Because
Good standalone?
it did. It actually had a story. It explained in detail what the Saiyans were about, what Frieza was
Okay.
about. And it was mostly about this other character that, quite frankly, you wouldn't have known much about anyway. So it was his movie.
Okay.
And Goku and Vegeta weren't even in it.
And Broly's the character?
Yep, Broly's the character.
Okay.
A very dumb character, and they actually made him more fleshed out by the standards of the show, I'd say. So I was very surprised. So maybe some people have not liked it. But,
All right, well.
But I thought it was.
I always enjoy your opinions on things like that.
No, I mean literally, I feel like you probably would have gotten. You know what? I think.
Let's hear it.
I think that I know even though you're not really that into Dragon Ball, I think you could have done what I did, done a double feature with Glass and that, and probably walked away.
The one more.
It probably would have frustrated you less.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
Because it knew what it was and what it wanted to be, and that was it. Didn't have a twist at the end that completely fucked over all your favorite characters.
Okay.
You know?
Wow. All right. Wow.
No real spoilers, but still some spoilers.
Well, I don't.
I didn't say anything.
No, but you said enough. You said enough for me to know many things.
But like, check it out. Because who knows? Maybe you'll see it and you'll love it.
Glass? Well, I didn't like Split as much as you did. And I certainly don't like Unbreakable as much. No one does.
That's
it's
true.
Your favorite, so.
But I love Unbreakable, and I thought Split was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think I gave Split
B?
A B.
B plus maybe?
It might have been a B plus. I think it was a B.
I think I really enjoyed Split.
The one before that where the kid gets the diaper in the face.
The Visit.
The Visit.
I kind of like The Visit.
I think I gave it like a C plus. That was like okay.
It was okay.
But it was far better than like After Earth and the Avatar movie.
What I thought was kind of weird is everybody was saying Split was the return for Shyamalan, but I remember that we were all kind of like...
The Visit was pretty big.
Visit wasn't too bad, and
people
liked it, and people saw it. I'm like... I thought The Visit was kind of almost a return, but I guess not everybody was like, yeah.
More traditional horror, though. Split was more Shyamalan-esque. It was more of a thriller, more supernatural a little bit. I think The Visit was fairly standard horror.
Found footage kind of...
So I think Shyamalan is back for Split means...
His style.
That his style has returned, yeah. That's what I think, anyway.
Well, non-spoiler, I think that one of the best things about Glass were some of those styles, the cinematography...
Okay.
The lighting, costumes, editing. I think music. Like, there was some good stuff there.
Okay.
Story stuff is kind of where some issues came up for me.
All right.
But yeah, no, check it out. I guess that's...
Well, I think that's everything and then some, because we covered about 8 additional topics that we wanted to. But I think the takeaway really is there's only one Julie Andrews.
I think
that's the big takeaway from today.
Well, was she in the top 5 best people? Wasn't that it?
Actually, I think she was.
She was the top 5 best.
She was in the top 5 greats.
And it was
Dick Van
Betty
Dyke
White
and her were both in it. Betty White
and some other people. Somebody who wasn't quite as old. It wasn't Andy Garcia.
And they had to still be alive because Mr. Rogers couldn't be in it.
Was it Tom Hanks?
Might have been Hanks.
Do I have to look back to old videos?
Might have been Hanks.
Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, but he's dead.
Oh, shoot.
We had talked about him, but I think it had to be alive people. I don't remember who the 5th one was. Was it Sally Field? I do love her.
Might have been Sally Field.
She's pretty
I
great.
think there was another guy in there.
Yeah, Hanks makes sense. I think it was Hanks.
Because he's always great.
And Van Dyke, for sure.
Because he can still dance.
The guy...
Jump up on that desk and
yeah.
Fiduciary bank guy, yeah. That was it was good. That was cool. That was good. But yeah, I agree. That is a takeaway. There is only one for the Andrews, and Mary Poppins. Emily Blunt did a good impression.
Blunt did well. I don't think anyone could have done it better than Blunt.
Do you think if they did a Sound of Music remake, she should do that as well?
No.
No, because
I'll tell you why.
Because of the dark gritty.
She's a pretty good singer.
Okay.
But no, after seeing her do the Oscar tribute to Sound of Music a few years ago, Lady Gaga.
Oh.
She did. This is before she was like doing the Tony Bennett stuff. Long before Star is Born. She was like the pop princess, Lady Gaga. She comes out, and I know you don't watch the Oscars, so I know you didn't see it, but she came out and sings "Hills Are Alive." Like 3 other songs. "Climb Every Mountain" was in there, and she was hitting notes that I was just like, "Oh my god!" So if they do a Sound of Music remake, I think Lady Gaga should be in it.
Well, I'm not opposed.
That's
to
my
it.
pick.
She's got talent, so.
But Blunt was very good in the role.
All right, well that's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. There wasn't as much, I guess, range requied for those.
Yeah,
songs.
I mean those songs were all pretty.
No, they were like mellow,
kind of basic. They were good, but
I didn't really talk about it on the channel. I will say, and I think we did discuss it. Didn't we discuss it briefly? I don't think
the movie.
Yeah, we did.
Not on your channel, I don't think.
Well, I did like it, but I have to say, even though there was a lot of good, the songs weren't generally quite as like. There wasn't a one that stood out to me as like classic, the original. Not as many. It was good music, but nothing was like I wasn't humming many.
I think the Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover was a good one. Mm-hmm. Tripping the Light Fantastic was more of a dance number, I think, than the song.
True. Did like that.
I liked the opening number. that
the London
fake Van Dyke did. London over London Skies or whatever. I thought that was really good.
That was good.
The one that Michael sings about his dead wife, that was really like touching.
Yeah. It was good.
But no, I agree. Look,
like it doesn't really pop the same way.
What were their names? The brothers, whatever their names are.
The great ones
that they did Saving Mr. Banks with.
The movie or the actual development of the original?
The people, the characters that were in the movie.
The based on,
that are the real people.
Those brothers.
That wrote all the songs. They, I think they're still alive, but they don't, write songs for Disney anymore. They're like in their 90s. I think the guy that wrote most of the songs is the Van Dyke guy.
Oh.
From Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, which makes sense because he's a Disney guy now. He wrote all the songs in Moana and whatever. So, I think his songs are good, but I find his range in songwriting a little limited.
Okay.
So I agree. I don't think the songs were as strong in Mary Poppins.
They were good, but they were good. They flowed together.
But were there any that was like Spoonful of Sugar, Supercalifragilistic?
I didn't think so.
I don't think so.
No. But who knows? Time may tell.
Yeah.
Time may tell.
Time certainly may tell.
But yeah, man, I put down on the list, you see there, literally the original docket was Toy Story 4, Coming to America, Frasier sequel, and other stuff. Other stuff was sprinkled throughout, so we didn't actually go to other stuff at the end.
Aladdin, we brought up the Vanellope Princess.
That's what did it. Like the whole half an hour of
I got us very off track as usual.
It doesn't matter. That's the way.
Ending up with the Star Trek cartoon we talked about. I didn't even Avatar.
I thought that was going to be a CBS All Access only thing.
No, what I read is it's being made for Nickelodeon.
Okay, that's better because that means I can actually watch it.
Yeah, I think that's why they're doing it, to promote it, to promote Trek again to a wider audience.
Because I think they know the CBS All Access thing.
It didn't do what they thought it was going to do. And it's only going to get lost in the shuffle when Disney releases theirs later in the year.
Oh, when Disney streaming comes in? Oh, that's
when Disney streaming comes in, they're just going to be printing money over there like always at Disney. That's why it doesn't matter when they release these Nutcracker movies that stink.
Because they got so much
Christopher
IP.
Robin. Because they have money coming out of every room in that building.
Well, like literally, if you they keep everything in the vault now, and that'll keep access. Like you got the top 50 animated Disney movies alone is a gold mine.
Enough, yeah.
And think about every show, spin-off game. My girlfriend's playing Kingdom Hearts 3 down there, which is like
Kingdom Hearts 3 is huge.
The biggest game that came out this anticipate. Like, are you kidding me?
If all Disney did right now was their live-action follow-ups, they'd be turning a profit.
Like, I'm sure you guys.
If all they did was those.
I'm sure you guys have many employees, but I don't think you need more money.
God.
Like, you guys could probably
Marvel.
fund country. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, which they haven't done anything with yet.
They own Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I believe they brought the rights to it along with Star Wars.
Oh,
because
really?
Lucas, remember, he owned it.
Oh, remember? I never put that together.
He made the characters.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why they were talking. Is Chris Pratt going to be in that? Plus, they got the Muppets.
Right, they got the Muppets. They've got
who knows what else they have?
Tomorrowland. I mean,
the Buena Vista with all their
John Carter. All the big hits. All the big.
But you're right. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's why. Yeah. When people are Nutcracker only made 52 million or whatever, and it cost probably 80 or 90 million because it's Disney. Okay, big whoop.
They got billions.
Black Panther cost 200 million and it made $1.5 billion. Like, who cares? Like, Disney
is not.
Yeah, they're not hurting for cash.
They own
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear somebody, that last Disney movie, really was a bomb. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They lose more money in a day
than you'll make in your life.
Than I'll ever see ever in my life. They don't care.
That's well, what other company can really say
good for them.
That?
Like whatever,
Hey, they need to buy up DC to make some.
They need to stop
fix
buying
that
things.
whole.
They need to stop buying.
Stop buying things.
Yes.
Don't want to monopolize everything.
They already have enough.
Don't want them to own all entertainment.
Correct.
They're getting there.
They're getting there. They'll never take Frasier's soul, though. We all know that. All right.
Well, we did. He wasn't Toy Story true. Kelsey Graham.
You're right, Kelsey Graham, bringing it all back.
Okay.
We got it right.
All right, but now
way off the rails.
We'll wrap it up with other stuff here. Dan, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks as always.
He'll probably be back on, but in the meantime, check out his channel, Frasier Friday,
Frasier Friday coming soon. And the top 50, you and I and our friend Justin are going to take a look at the top 50 grossing movies of 2018 and kind of go over those.
Yeah, I haven't seen like some of them, but we're all going to kind of give our opinions about how this year was.
It'll be interesting.
It will be because
we've never done something quite like that.
Based on the numbers, no, that is different.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about what viewers wanted to hear about. But yeah, check that over there probably within the next couple weeks, I imagine.
Yeah, we'll get it up probably within the next week or so.
And in the meantime, of course, I've got videos planned for you guys and getting them out when I can. So, Dan, say goodbye.
See ya.
Everybody, just stay magical.